Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. Life is going to test you. That's a fact. Ain't no way around it. You're going to go through some storms, some valleys, some situations that make you want to throw in the towel. But listen, how you come out of those tough times depends on one thing: gratitude. See, here's the problem. Most people spend so much time complaining about what's wrong, they forget to appreciate what's right. I get it. When you're struggling, it's easy to focus on the negatives. But let me tell you, if you can learn to be grateful even when life ain't going your way, you unlock something powerful. Now, I know somebody sitting here thinking, what do I have to be grateful for? My money's funny, my job's stressful, my relationships are a mess. Oh, I hear you, but let me ask you this. Did you wake up this morning? Well, guess what? That's a blessing. Somebody didn't get that chance today. You got food in your fridge? That's a blessing. You got people who care about you? That's a blessing. You got breath in your lungs? That means God ain't done with you yet. See, the mistake we make is waiting until life is perfect to be grateful. But let me give you the truth. Gratitude ain't about perfect conditions. Gratitude is about your mindset. You got to learn to say, Lord, I don't like this storm, but I thank you for the strength to get through it. You got to wake up and say, I may not have everything I want, but I got everything I need to keep pushing forward. You ever notice how the most successful people in the world practice gratitude? You think that's a coincidence? No, that's a mindset. They understand that when you focus on what's good, you create more good. Gratitude shifts your perspective. It don't change your situation overnight, but it changes you. And when you change, everything around you starts shifting. So here's my challenge to you. Every day, wake up and say 3 things you're grateful for. I don't care if you're going through hell, find something. Because when you start thanking God for the little things, He starts blessing you with the big things. Listen, tough times don't last, but grateful people do. So stop complaining, stop doubting, and start thanking. Your breakthrough is on the way. You just got to make room for it with gratitude. God bless you. Keep pushing forward. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces that can transform your life, especially during difficult times. It has the ability to shift your mindset, redirect your focus, and change how you perceive even the hardest situations. Most people believe that gratitude is about being thankful only when things are going well. It doesn't instantly change your circumstances, but it changes the way you see them. And when you change the way you see something, you change the way you respond to it. The mind is a battlefield, and what you feed it determines how you fight your battles. If you fill your mind with negativity, complaints, and frustration, that's what you will magnify in your life. Problems will seem bigger than they are, setbacks will feel like permanent failures, and you will start to believe that your situation is hopeless. But when you train your mind to focus on gratitude, something shifts inside of you. It doesn't mean you ignore your struggles, but it means you refuse to let them control you. Difficult times have a way of making people focus on everything that's wrong. You lose a job, and suddenly all you can think about is your bills, your lack of security, and how hard it will be to find another opportunity. You go through a breakup and your mind starts replaying everything that went wrong, making you feel like you'll never find love again. You face a health challenge and suddenly all you can focus on is how unfair life is. That's human nature. It's easy to get consumed by what's painful, what's missing, and what's broken. But gratitude interrupts that cycle. It forces you to pause and recognize what is still good, what is still working, and what is still possible. When you wake up in the morning, you have 2 choices. You can focus on what's wrong or focus on what's right. If you choose to focus on what's wrong, Your day will reflect that energy. You will notice every inconvenience, you will dwell on every frustration, and your stress will build up before you even get started. But if you choose to focus on what's right, you shift your perspective. You wake up and say, I may not have everything I want, but I have another chance today. You start your day from a place of abundance instead of lack. You remind yourself that no matter how difficult things are, you still have something to be thankful for. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you when something good happens. It's about training your mind to see the good in every situation. It's about realizing that even in hardship, there are lessons to be learned, strengths to be built, and opportunities to grow. Think about the toughest times in your life. At the moment, they felt unbearable. You probably wondered how you would get through them. But when you look back, you realize those moments shaped you. They forced you to develop resilience, faith, and determination. That's the hidden gift inside a struggle. It produces something in you that comfort never could. And when you start to see struggle as something that is refining you instead of defeating you, that's when your mindset shifts. People often think that happiness comes from success, wealth, or external achievements, but real happiness starts with gratitude. There are people in this world who have everything, money, fame, power, and they are miserable because they are never satisfied. They always feel like something is missing. On the other hand, there are people with very little, yet they radiate joy. The difference is not their circumstances, it's their mindset. Gratitude makes you realize that joy is not in things, it's in perspective. When you learn to appreciate what you already have, you stop chasing fulfillment in places that will never provide it. Difficult times have a way of making people feel powerless, but gratitude reminds you that you still have control over something, your attitude. You may not be able to change the situation instantly, but you can change how you show up in the middle of it. You can decide that instead of complaining, you will find something to be thankful for. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you will focus on what remains. Instead of dwelling on fear, you will remind yourself of every obstacle you have already overcome. Think about people who have faced unimaginable hardship, people who have lost everything, battled illness, or experienced rock bottom. Many of them say the same thing: gratitude kept them going. It wasn't their circumstances that changed first, it was their mindset. They decided that instead of letting the storm break them, they would find something to hold on to. They found gratitude in small things: a kind word from a friend, the beauty of a sunrise, the strength to take another step forward. And that gratitude gave them the power to keep going. Gratitude also affects how you treat other people. When you are grateful, you become more patient, more understanding, and more generous. You stop taking people for granted. You start appreciating the little things. The friend who checks on you, the stranger who smiles at you, the family member who supports you even when they don't fully understand what you're going through. Gratitude opens your eyes to the goodness around you, even in the midst of struggle. And when you acknowledge that goodness, it multiplies. Another thing about gratitude is that it attracts more blessings. It's a universal principle. What you focus on grows. When you complain, life gives you more to complain about. When you are grateful, life gives you more to be grateful for. It's not about ignoring problems, it's about shifting your energy. Gratitude raises your vibration, and when your energy is in the right place, doors start opening. You start seeing opportunities that you were too distracted to notice before. You start attracting people who align with that positive energy. You start realizing that even in difficulty, there is still a path forward. Some of the most successful people in the world practice gratitude daily. They don't wait for everything to be perfect. They wake up and express gratitude for what they have right now. That's why they keep growing, because they understand that gratitude fuels success. It keeps them grounded, keeps them focused, and keeps them moving forward. There are people who spend their entire lives waiting for things to get better before they allow themselves to be happy, waiting for the perfect moment to feel thankful. But that's not how it works. Gratitude is not a reward you give yourself after everything is fixed. Gratitude is the tool that helps you navigate the challenges. It's what keeps you strong when things are falling apart. It's what helps you find peace even in chaos. Life will always have ups and downs, that's a guarantee. But your perspective determines how you experience those ups and downs. You can choose to focus on everything that's wrong, or you can choose to acknowledge what's still right. And when you start focusing on the good, you will realize that no matter how tough things get, there is always some side to every story. The fact that you woke up is something going right. The fact that you have the strength to get out of bed and face another day is something going right. The fact that you have the ability to make changes, grow, and keep pushing forward is something going right. But most people overlook these things because they are too busy focusing on what's wrong. The mind is a powerful thing. Whatever you focus on grows. If you spend your time constantly thinking about what's wrong, your problems will seem bigger than they actually are. Your perspective will be clouded by negativity, and even small inconveniences will feel overwhelming. But when you make a conscious decision to focus on what's right, your entire outlook shifts. Suddenly, you start noticing things that you used to take for granted. You realize that even in the midst of challenges, there are blessings surrounding you. You recognize that no matter how tough life gets, there is still hope, still opportunity, and still something to be thankful for. Life is full of both good and bad. Every day you are faced with a choice: to focus on the problems or to focus on the possibilities. People who choose to focus on what's wrong often find themselves stuck. They feel helpless, frustrated, and defeated because all they see are obstacles. They convince themselves that nothing is working in their favor, and that belief keeps them from moving forward. But people who focus on what's right have a different kind of energy. They approach life with gratitude, resilience, and optimism. They don't ignore their problems, but they refuse to let those problems define them. They look for solutions, they acknowledge their progress, and they remind themselves that every challenge is temporary. Difficulties have a way of blinding people to their blessings. When someone loses their job, all they can think about is their financial stress, their uncertainty, and their fear of the unknown. But if they shift their focus, they might see that this job loss is also an opportunity, a chance to find something better, to pursue a passion, or to develop new skills. When someone goes through heartbreak, they often dwell on the pain, the disappointment, and the loneliness. But if they shift their perspective, they might see that this heartbreak is making space for a healthier relationship, for personal growth, or for self-discovery. Every setback carries within it a hidden blessing, but you have to be willing to look for it. It's not about pretending that problems don't exist. It's about refusing to let them consume you. A storm may be raging, but there is always a break in the clouds. The sun is still shining somewhere, even if you can't see it yet. When you focus on what's right, you train your mind to seek out the light instead of getting lost in the darkness. You remind yourself that no matter how bad things seem, there is always something working in your favor. Maybe it's the people who support you. Maybe it's the lessons you're learning. Maybe it's the inner strength you're developing. The key is to find those things and hold on to them. There is power in perspective. Two people can go through the exact same situation and have completely different experiences based on what they choose to focus on. One person might see a challenge as the end of the road, while another sees it as a stepping stone. One person might see a failure as proof that they are not good enough, while another sees it as a lesson that will help them grow. The circumstances are the same, but the mindset is different. And that mindset makes all the difference. Gratitude plays a huge role in shifting your focus. When you take time each day to acknowledge what's right, you create a habit of looking for the good in every situation. You train your mind to notice blessings, no matter how small. You stop taking things for granted and start appreciating the little things. The kindness of a stranger, the beauty of nature, the strength you've developed through hardship. The more you practice gratitude, the more natural it becomes, and the more natural it becomes, the more it transforms your life. Difficult times test people. They challenge faith, patience, and resilience. They push people to their limits. But they also reveal what truly matters. They strip away distractions and force people to focus on the essentials. And when you look closely, you realize that the essentials are often still intact. You may have lost something, but you still have life. You may be struggling, but you still have the ability to rise. You may feel broken, but you still have the power to heal. And as long as you have those things, you have something going right. It's easy to get caught up in what's missing, in what's unfair, in what didn't go as planned. But the truth is, no one's life is perfect. Everyone faces struggles, setbacks, and disappointments. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who move forward is perspective. Those who dwell on what's wrong get weighed down by their struggles. Those who focus on what's right find the strength to keep going. Focusing on what's right doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means choosing to see beyond them. It means reminding yourself that no matter how bad today looks, tomorrow holds new possibilities. It means understanding that every hardship is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for something greater. The key is to keep your eyes open to the good that still exists. Life will always present challenges, but it will also always provide blessings. The question is, which one will you choose to focus on? Successful people understand the power of gratitude and make it a daily practice. They don't wait for everything in their lives to be perfect before they acknowledge their blessings. Instead, they wake up each morning and intentionally focus on what they have instead of what they lack. This is not a coincidence. It is a mindset that separates those who achieve great things from those who stay stuck in frustration and disappointment. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It is a way of thinking, a way of approaching life that shapes your attitude, your actions, and ultimately your results. When successful people start their day, they don't immediately focus on their problems, their to-do lists, or their worries. Instead, they take time to recognize what's already good in their lives. This simple practice sets the tone for everything else. When you focus on what's working, you create momentum. You start your day with a sense of abundance rather than lack. You move through challenges with a mindset that is solution-oriented rather than problem-focused. Many people think that gratitude is something you express after success, as if you must first achieve your goals before you have a reason to be thankful. But this is completely backward. Gratitude is not a result of success, it is a cause of success. People who practice gratitude regularly attract more opportunities, build stronger relationships, and develop the resilience needed to keep going even when things get tough. They are not blinded by negativity or frustration because they train their minds to see possibilities instead of obstacles. If you study some of the most successful individuals in the world, whether in business, sports, entertainment, or any other field, you will notice a common theme. They appreciate what they have no matter how much or how little. They celebrate small wins, recognize the people who support them, and acknowledge the progress they've made along the way. This attitude of gratitude keeps them grounded, it keeps them motivated, it gives them the energy to keep pushing forward when others would give up. One of the reasons gratitude is so powerful is that it shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. A person who is always dwelling on what they don't have will feel discouraged, drained, and unmotivated. But a person who focuses on what they do have will feel inspired, empowered, and ready to take action. Successful people know this, so they don't waste time complaining about what they lack. They don't dwell on failures or setbacks longer than necessary. Instead, they look for lessons, they appreciate the journey, and they use every experience, good or bad, as fuel for growth. Another thing about successful people is that they don't just keep gratitude to themselves, they share it. They express appreciation to those around them. They acknowledge their teams, their mentors, their families, and even the small acts of kindness they receive from strangers. This creates an atmosphere of positivity and respect. When people feel valued, they are more willing to support you, to work with you, and to help you reach new heights. Gratitude strengthens relationships, and strong relationships are essential to success in any field. Some people might look at highly successful individuals and assume they have nothing to worry about, that their lives are stress-free, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The more successful a person is, the greater the responsibilities, challenges, and pressures they face. However, what sets them apart is their mindset. They do not let stress consume them. They do not allow difficulties to overshadow their blessings. Instead, they practice gratitude to keep themselves balanced. They remind themselves that no matter how big the challenge, there is always something to be grateful for. It's also important to recognize that gratitude fuels perseverance. Success is not a straight path. There are roadblocks, detours, and unexpected turns along the way. Many people give up because they focus too much on how hard the journey is. They get discouraged by temporary failures and start believing that their dreams are out of reach. But successful people don't think like that. They use gratitude as a tool to keep going. Instead of focusing on how far they still have to go, they focus on how far they've already come. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, they see them as opportunities to learn and improve. One of the best habits a person can develop is writing down things they are grateful for every day. Many high achievers have a gratitude journal where they list 3 to 5 things they appreciate each morning. This could be anything: a supportive friend, an opportunity to grow, good health, or even just the ability to wake up and try again. This simple act trains the brain to look for the good in every situation. Over time, this habit rewires your thinking so that gratitude becomes your default mode even during challenges. Gratitude also has a direct impact on mental and physical health. Studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. They have better sleep, stronger immune systems, and higher energy levels. When you appreciate life, your body responds positively. You feel lighter, more at peace, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. Another key benefit of gratitude is that it eliminates envy and comparison. One of the biggest distractions in today's world is the tendency to compare yourself to others. Social media, television, and society in general often make people feel like they are not enough, like they are behind in life. But gratitude protects you from that trap. When you are truly grateful for what you have, you don't feel the need to constantly compare your journey to someone else's. You recognize that your path is unique, and you trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Successful people also use gratitude to stay humble. No matter how high they rise, they never forget where they started. They appreciate every struggle that made them stronger. They acknowledge every person who helped them along the way. They remain connected to the values and principles that guided them from the beginning. This humility allows them to stay grounded, make better decisions, and maintain meaningful connections with others. Gratitude is not just about looking backward at what you've received. It's also about looking forward with expectation. When you appreciate the blessings you have now, you attract even more. Gratitude puts you in a state of abundance. Instead of feeling like there is never enough, you start believing that opportunities are endless, that good things are always on the way. This mindset creates confidence, and confidence leads to action. No matter what field a person is in, gratitude is a game changer. It keeps you motivated when things get tough. It helps you see solutions instead of problems. It strengthens your relationships and opens doors you never expected. It transforms your perspective and allows you to experience joy even before you reach your biggest goals. The secret to success is not just hard work, talent, or luck. It's the ability to stay grateful through every stage of the journey.